In this lesson, we're going to learn how to check for network status. As we've seen in previous lessons, we often want to talk to a remote data source. To do so, of course, requires a network. We've also seen how to download picture files. Again, we need a network to be able to do so, and because cell data charges can be an issue with large downloads, we want to be able to assure that we're using a Wi-Fi in some cases as well. So our application checks for the network in two different ways. We have a button to initiate the check and just a text view to show us the status. We also need to set a permission in our Android manifest to access the network state. And here's our activity. We have members for our button and our text view. And on our button, the first thing we do is we check for a network. So this happens immediately at the time of the button click. We create a connectivity manager, and we do that by getting the system service with the context connectivity service. And then we have a bool called background enabled, which looks at the connectivity manager background data setting. This tells us whether we're allowed to work with background data, or if not, according to the system settings. Then we get into the network, and we create a network info object off of the connectivity manager using the active network info property. And we set our bool is connected if the active network is not null, and it is connected or it's in the process of connecting. And finally, we have a boolean for is Wi-Fi, and that takes a look at the active network type and compares it to the constant Wi-Fi. And then we report these in our text view, adding lines for the different statuses for background enabled and is Wi-Fi. The next thing we do on the button click is we create a network broadcast receiver class, which is a broadcast receiver that we'll show you in a little bit. And we're going to hook its connectivity changed event, and we register that receiver, and we're filtering for the connectivity action. The receiver is very simple. It descends from broadcast receiver, and we have a public event, connectivity changed, and on receive in the broadcast receiver, we look at our intent action and look for a connectivity action. If our connectivity changed event has a registered handler, we fire out the event with the intent that carries the intent action. And here's our activities event handler. We look at the intent to see if it has the extra no connectivity. And if it does, we get the Boolean value of it. If no connectivity is true, we report that status. Otherwise, we have a network connection. If the intent does not have the extra data, our status is that we do have a network connection. The intent is only reporting if we have no connectivity, as opposed to if we do have connectivity. So let's run this. And we click our button, and we see that background data is indeed enabled. I'm using the emulator, so I don't have any Wi-Fi, but I do have a network connection. So that's how we can check for network availability. In our next lesson, we're going to take a look at how to manage the Wi-Fi.